MREs, which is meals ready to eat, baby food, baby formula. So it's a lot of different things. And like I said, you're able to acquire a lot of many different things as far as that comes from the federal government. So like I mentioned, that the way to get registered with this program, if anybody is interested, and what I can do is, if once before the meeting ends, if I can get someone's email address, or actually I'll send it to the email that I received earlier in regards to the agenda. I'll send out everything that I'm talking about. So I'll in relation to the federal surplus program, I'll make sure that I'll send out a program overview, uh, um, a brochure, as well as the application. The application, of course, is free. All it asks you just to provide specific information, and I see your email. I make sure I'll send it if anybody leaves their email address, Miss Sherry. I'll definitely send it to you. Um, if That all you have to do is provide your basic information, including your information that you are certified with as a nonprofit. Make sure you're in good standing with the state, and then go from there. And then once we process your application, and it shouldn't take very long, just bear with me. We have a little backlog because, like I said, my staff is very small, so we handle the entire state. So when I do presentations like this, or my colleague Rose does presentations like this, of course we get a whole slew of calls and emails and so forth to send out some information to folks. So, but like I said, we'll get it out to you as soon as possible. And like I said, if I get anybody's email address this evening, I'll make sure that at least by tomorrow, the information is sent out to you, as well as I'll send it to uh, um, GBBCC. So overall, that's what the program is about. We're trying to increase our participation with nonprofits, and particularly even with veterans, since veterans has just started. So please feel free to once you receive the application, fill it out to its be very detailed and complete. Send it back in. You can either mail or you can scan it back into me. And then, like I said, we'll process as soon as possible. But I always say that please don't put yourself in the position of buying furniture and equipment and so forth, because this is an opportunity that you can save a lot of money at very very low cost. And when I do say low cost, the only thing that we charge, and that's not um, on my end, doing regarding federal guidelines, we do have to charge a very small processing fee based on the total amount of the acquisition cost of that particular product. And I usually try to keep it very very small. So it's saying, if you to give you an example, an organization, actually, Keys Empowers, Keys Development, I'm sorry, um, about what, a year and a half ago, they had reached out to me and they were looking for a minivan. And Mujahid Muhammad had acquired a Dodge minivan. I believe it was a 2012 minivan that was located in Hagerstown. And surprisingly, and you'll probably be very surprised, he received that van for at a very low cost of $1,200. And it was just right on point. The biggest thing is the cost of transportation. It's all on you. That's something that we don't provide as far as with the state. You do have to, if you find something that's in Colorado or Florida or so forth, you're responsible for the transportation. However, if it's anything that you actually see, you'll contact my office and let us know as far as what you see and what you want to acquire. And also keep in mind that from time to time, when we get large announcements from other federal agencies, we do send out mass emails to let folks know that we have some particular items in house that we need to get rid of. Like right now, most likely, if anybody's looking for conference room chairs, I'll be I'll be putting an announcement out to everyone to let them know that I have some conference room chairs available. So usually what we do is send a mass email out to everybody who's registered, send them a few pictures, and it's just a first come first serve. So who actually gets in contact with us first and say that that you would like to acquire whatever particular item. Just the other day we had some sound equipment, those large, outdoor speakers that we had just donated. So, and like I said, we've been also supplying computers to a lot of the schools. I know everybody's familiar with the late great George Mitchell over at the Langston Hughes. A lot of the items that he had received was through this program, through this federal program. So like I said, it's definitely very beneficial to every nonprofit, small business that it's affiliated with the 8A program, as well as now veteran small businesses that can take advantage of it as well. Like I said, I see everybody's submitting their, sending me their email address, and when I finish up, because I'm not going to drop off, I'm gonna wait to the end. I'm gonna stay around for the end of the meeting. I'll make sure that I put my contact information in the chat box, as well as give me a time so I can get everybody's email address, and I'll send that information out to you. So from there, I want to go into talking about as far as how do we do business with the state. So before I took over this program, I've been running the federal surplus property program for about a year and a half now. Prior to, and I've been at DGS for about 10 years. And I actually initially came in under the O'Malley administration. I was a special assistant for Secretary Alvin Collins. And once the transition started to take place, once Governor Larry Hogan was coming on board, I ended up getting promoted to the previous position, which was I was the PRG administrator, which is the Procurement Review Group administrator. And my responsibility within that position was that I got all of the contracts that came out of DGS. So my role was, when I got those contracts, my responsibility was actually to read through those contracts to see how I can get minority business participation from that particular contract, or from the contracts. If and once and once I do that, that's when these contracts are solicited on the state procurement website. And hopefully everybody is aware, but if you're not, the state of Maryland's procurement website is called eMaryland Marketplace Advantage, and the acronym is EMMA. So if anybody says EMMA, they're talking about the state procurement website. So that's where you'll have the opportunity to register your business, whether it be a for-profit or nonprofit. You can register your business with eMaryland Marketplace. So if you're in the business of doing business with the state of Maryland, and it particularly not just as a prime contractor. However, I would love for everybody on here to really be in a position and be ready to be a prime contractor. That's the main primary reason why you want to get registered with EMMA, as far as to be able to see the solicitations and to be able to bid on them as a prime contractor. But even if not a prime contractor, and right now you just have the capacity of subcontracting work from primes, that's also a great way as far as for you finding out the solicitations as well. So it's always beneficial, no matter if you're coming in as a prime or a subcontractor. But hopefully everybody has in their goals this year or next year to actually be a prime contract. Once you do register as a prime contractor, once you do register with EMMA, it'll ask you a series of questions. And like I said, I'm not going to really go too deep into it, because you can easily find out all the information on Department of General Services website, which is www.dgs.maryland, and that's Maryland spelled out, .gov. And I'll make sure that I'll put that in the chat as well, which I'll do it right now. Okay, so that's where you have the opportunity. It has the email and marketplace advantage link, and also even has a full explanations, the same information that I'm giving you right now, as far as about the three programs that we utilize as far as for the state coming out of DGS. And once you register, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So those three programs is once you do get registered with email and marketplace advantage. The one program is the SBR program, which is the Small Business Reserve Program. The next one is the MBE program, which is the Minority Business Enterprise Program. And the third one is the Veteran Owned Small Business Enterprise Program, which is the VSBE. So as you know, the state of Maryland is always into all of these acronyms. So just be aware that some people are going to say SBR, which you know that it's a small business, MBE, minority business, and VSBE and veteran owned business. And just a side note, if you have any questions in regards to any of these certifications, you know, just feel free to get in contact with me. I did when I was holding that position as PRG administrator. I also sat on the MBE certification committee with MDOT, so I can help you out, or at least answer some questions, at least direct you into, you know, someone who can answer your question for that. So back to the three programs as far as with the state. So like I said, it's SBR, MBE, and VSBE. Now, when we look at as far as SBR, when you register with Email and Marketplace Advantage, during your registration, you're going to get to once you pass a couple of prompts as far as when you're putting in your pretty much your company's demos, it's going to ask you a couple of questions in regards to the SBR program, just to see if you actually qualify as your business. Hang on one second. Oops. I think I just knocked myself out. Oh, there you go. I'm sorry. I had pressed the wrong button. I'm sorry. So it's going to ask you a couple of questions in regards just to make sure that you actually are certified or actually qualified as a small business with the program. And pretty much if it depends on the type of business that you have, so, and also the number of employees. So pretty much if you have a wholesale operation business, if you have 50 or less employees, you will qualify for this program. If you have a retail or manufacturing, say if you have a retail operation business and you have no more than 25 employees, you'll qualify for the program. Now, as far as dollar amount, say if you have a construction business and you average less than 7 million consecutively for 3 years, you will qualify for this program. So it's very friendly in relation to as far as to make sure that we get a lot of small business involved into a lot of these state contracts. Also keep in mind, once you do qualify, and it'll tell you right on the spot, because when you do register with Email and Marketplace, it's a self-certification. So you're doing, you know, the registration yourself. So at the end, you'll see that you'll become certified with the SBR program, as well as you'll officially get registered with Emma. And it will give you all the information once you complete it. And then you'll start receiving solicitations via email based on your demographics and the services that you provide. So the search engine could tell as far as the services that you click on and saying that this is the type of service that you do. So it'll kind of read that, and it'll indicate as far as what contracts that has those components of the services that you say that you do. That's how you start receiving those email solicitations. So I do want to mention that when you do register, please make sure you go to your spam file, and if you don't see any you know, in your welcome email and so forth, because I know there's been a lot of complaints from contractors that they said that they haven't received a lot of things, and sometimes they're not checking their spam file. So once your computer starts to register that you're receiving emails from that site, then that's when you should be okay by then as far as receiving that information. And also, I do want to mention, and I don't want to kind of go off a little bit, and this is for Emma. This is for if you get into the process as far as even applying for your MBE certification or any directory of so forth. If even I know GBBCC has a directory of everybody's business. Please make sure that you keep your information current. That's one of the things that when we after I did my evaluation, and then when I pass it on to the procurement officer as far as to go ahead and post these solicitations via Emma, you know, I take that contract, and then I take all of the skill set that I've read off, or that I read that's coincides with that particular project, and I look through the directory, particularly when it comes to, you know, minority businesses, and I look through that MBE directory on the MDOT. A lot of times their information is not current, so I get a lot of emails bounce back, and that's very frustrating because one, I want to make sure that this information gets in your hands, and then it's frustrating for me when I know that you're looking for opportunities, and sometimes people are very, you know, very boisterous and saying, "Look, you guys are not, you know, sending information out to us," and half the time we are. It's just that those email addresses are not current, or even your office information. So please make sure you keep your information current. Anytime you change your email address, anytime you change your phone number, please make sure you make that change as far as in your profile. So back to the SBR program. So a few years ago, the participation goal for the SBR program was 10%, and now it's 15%. So during a fiscal year, we're required to make sure that we procure at least 15% of procurements as an SBR procurement. And actually, it has to go out as an SBR procurement when it's first solicited. So that's when you want to make sure that you're part of that program, the SBR program, because when we look at contract opportunities like janitorial services, security services, 9 times out of 10, those contracts are going out as an SBR procurement. So you want to make sure that you have that certification, that SBR, that you're certified as an SBR vendor in Emma. So you want to take advantage of that. So then we look at the MBE program, the Minority Business Enterprise program. In this program, in order for you to get registered, you have to register with the Maryland Department of Transportation, which is MDOT. And overall, that overall participation goal, as far as when we put an MB goal, is 29%. So at the end of the fiscal year, we have to make sure that at least we have contracted with 29% of minority businesses. So we want to make sure that once you do start registering, now MDOT has a great workshop that they host every first Tuesday of each month at the MDOT headquarters. But of course, now they're doing a lot of things online because of the pandemic. You're able to take advantage of the MBE workshop, and it's free, and you can take it as many times as you want, as far as while you're going through that process of getting your paperwork together, which you know that you can submit your MBE certification paperwork, your application via online. But you can take that workshop and it'll tell you from A to Z as far as on what you need to do or what type of information you need to have in order to get certified as certified with the MBE program. So I do recommend every minority business, and understand when I say MBE, I know we're a little bit different than saying like with Baltimore City. Baltimore City may say MBE, but also they say women. So when I say, as far as coming from the state, when I say MBE, women is under that umbrella as well. So we're also talking about African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, you know, women, and so forth. So excuse me for not saying women separate, but when I say MBE, I'm talking about everybody. So I do want to say, in relation to the minority business workshop that MDOT, excuse me, the MBE certification workshop that MDOT hosts, I would say that, and like I said, I'll put all this information um, in the chat box. Um, if you Google GOSPA, which is the Governor's Office of Small Women and Minority Business Affairs, they have a lot of great information there. They have two things that's great. One, they have the calendar events. You click on the calendar events, and that's where you see, as far as the workshops, the date and the times of the MBE certification workshops that you can register for. Also, they have a lot of other workshops throughout the course of each month, so you can register for those as well. On the home screen of GOSPA's website, they do have a procurement forecast where you can actually click on that procurement forecast and you can see every state solicitation or every opportunity that's going to be coming up in either this fiscal year or even the following fiscal year. You can look at that forecast and see exactly what's coming up, see exactly what's preempted is going to be expiring, what contracts is going to be expiring, what contract is going to be solicited in the next, like I said, in the next few month or week or whatever have you. Take advantage and take your time perusing it, and it's connected with every state agency that's in the state of Maryland. So you're able to see everybody's contract opportunity, because everybody within the state of Maryland utilizes the Mbe site. So you will see everybody's solicitations out there. So we want to make sure that all the information is made available and is very user friendly. So definitely, please take advantage of that. And the final program that DGS administers is the VSBE, which is the Veteran-Owned Small Business Enterprise. And this is one of our newer programs. So it's only been around a couple of years. And the overall goal for each fiscal year is 1%. However, when I was in that role, I will always want to make sure that, I kind of push the level, because to me, 1% is nothing. To give you a prime example, one of my larger projects that I was able to actually procure, as far as putting MBE and veteran goals on it, was the Enoch Pratt Library project, the one that's downtown. That was, if no one didn't know, that was a state project. So I don't know if anybody have seen, or before the pandemic, had an opportunity to go down and see exactly what what DGS had, and actually the prime contractor on that was Gilbane. And that was one of our specialty projects. That was at a CM at risk project, which is construction management at risk project. And that's done a little bit different. That CM at risk project is actually when we automatically, before the project starts, we automatically identify the prime contractor. And from that point, we actually in phases start hiring the MBEs, in term that if it was a traditional project or traditional contract, usually once the prime contractor actually bids on that project, they actually, and if there's an MBE and veteran goal, when they do their bid submission, they have that whole package together, saying that if it's a 30% goal on that project, they're showing us how much or how they're going to be utilizing or achieving that 30%. And then if it's a veteran goal on that, they're showing how they're going to achieve that 1%. If they're not going to achieve it, then that's when they have an opportunity to submit a waiver. But I can say that when I was, as a PRG administrator, we were very, very strict, and we were very, like I said, strict when it comes to folks trying to submit waivers, and we would really scrutinize those companies to make sure that we wanted to make sure that we get all participation and everybody met the participation goals, whether it be an MBE or veterans. On that Enoch Pratt project, like I said, it was very different because it was a CM at risk project. So we we had took it in different phases. But the goal that I had initially put on that contract was a 40% MBE goal with a 5% veteran goal. You know, I felt that Gilbane really wasn't doing too much but managing, and we needed to make sure, especially since that project was in the heart of Baltimore City, that it was a lot of opportunities, even though that, you know, that building is an historic building. But we found ways, as far as with a lot of contracting opportunities, that I knew that we had some great MBEs that could be attached to that. And we're talking about, you know, King Contracting, L&G Exclusive, P&J Contracting, a lot of people that were able to really capitalize, and even Holmes Mechanical. I mean, a lot of people that did some great work on that project, and of course, it clearly shows as far as at the end result.
What happened to you?
Oh, okay. I thought maybe somebody. Does anybody have any, I guess, specific questions? I hate to keep on rambling on, but I want to. I'm not really. If hopefully nobody's not putting it in the chat, so I don't want to overlook it. But if anybody got any specific questions, I have no problem as far as answering.
Why did you want to go in?
Yeah, I think there are a few questions that actually came up in the chat box. I'm going to pull them up for you. There was one question about, let me see. Just give me 1 second. Do you all have, well, we have Lakia Newkirk. Her question was, do you all have access to surplus space or buildings or construction material?
Okay. Yes. Yes. Construction materials. No. No space. We don't surplus real estate. You know, we actually do have some real estate available. I can provide you with the Assistant Secretary of Real Estate, Wendy Scott Napier, for DGS, because we handle all the real estate throughout the entire state of Maryland. They're not surplus, so you won't be able to get it through my program. We do have some that are actually going to be for sale. I don't even know if anybody, I know that one property that I would even personally love to have is the Pikesville Armory right on Ricestown Road. That's going to be up for sale. It might be up for sale right about now. But property like that. But no, unfortunately, you know, the federal surplus program, we don't surplus real estate.
Got it.
But yes, construction materials, yes.
Now we also have a question from Letitia Morrison. Give me 1 second. Is this program only for Maryland residents?
Okay, so the federal surplus program, at least as far as when you're trying to get items from me, yes, in the state of Maryland. However, in every state, including the District of Columbia, they have a person like me. So if you're registered with the program, but you're in the state of Maryland, of course you'll come see me or someone from my office. But if you want to get registered and you're in DC or Delaware, you have to contact their either Department of General Services or one of their federal agencies to actually be enrolled with the program. Now, in order to, as far as in reference to the SBR and NBE, yeah, you at least have to, you don't have to be a Maryland resident, but you do have to have your business registered in the state of Maryland. So you do have to have a registered agent in the state of Maryland.
Okay, and I think Letitia said she was actually in North Carolina, so she would have to find the person in her state that does what you do here in Maryland to get access to the same program.
Right, to the federal program, yes. Yes, and I definitely know that and I have to, I can, you know, I'll definitely speak to you said Lakia or Letitia? Letitia. Yeah,
Letitia,
I can speak, I can speak to her offline, because actually I did my initial training in North Carolina. So I was around a lot of people that actually, you know, who were me and who runs the program. And of course, it was a lot more people that that were made available that she can reach out to. So I can definitely try to locate that information. Now, to say if you're in North Carolina and you want to do business in the state of Maryland, you can get your MBE certification in Maryland. So there's times that saying if we do an overall search, saying if we have a project, like right now, one of my projects was the construction of a new Maryland State Police barracks in Cumberland. So initially, when I was trying to see exactly how many, what the MBE participation I can put on this contract, and of course, I put a 30% MBE goal and a 10% veterans. So of course, we all know the dynamics in Cumberland and Western Maryland. Of course, I had 10 people surrounding me upset because of the goal that I put on that contract, and I wasn't going to back down. And I told them, Governor Hogan said it's, Maryland is open for business, so it's open for business for everybody, not just for you, but it's open for business, of people that looks like us. So what I did was I not only opened it up to Maryland, but I opened it up to West Virginia and Delaware, as long as that, MBEs was certified in the state of Maryland. So you don't have to be, you just have to have a registered agent, your company registered in the state of Maryland, but you don't have to reside in the state of Maryland.
Got it. Miss Deborah has a question about being an MBE. Do you have to be a certified MBE or VSBE to register with EMA?
No, you don't. You can register now. It only takes you 15 minutes to actually get registered with Emma, and you actually can start seeing solicitations, and you can start bidding on contracts now. For some reason, it was definitely and I'm glad that's a great question, because it's been some misconception throughout the years with some vendors thinking that you do have to get registered with the MBE. No, getting registered with the MBE program is just you utilize that as a resource. It's not going to stop you from bidding as a prime contractor. It's not going to stop you from anything. Now, saying if you want to get connected, if you want to subcontract from say like a large company like Whiting Turner or Turner Construction and so forth, and they have an MBE goal that they have to achieve, that's where that having that MBE certification is great, because then you can market your business and say, look, I'm here, I want to participate, this is my offer to do whatever type of service, and they can utilize you because you have that MBE certification. But also at the same time, hopefully everyone's goal is to bid as a prime, as an MBE prime on that. And then if you bid as a prime, if you acquire a contract and it has an MBE goal, you can bid as a prime and be able to get awarded as an MBE prime, as well as you'll be able to achieve 50% of that MBE goal under your own services, because you're a certified MBE.
Appreciate that. Folks, if you're listening, we're talking to Mr. Sean Stinnett for the State Department of General Services. Please put your questions in the chat if you have any questions about these programs that he's presented on this evening. We have a couple more questions,
Sure.
Sean. One is from Dominique Thomas. Do you have to have a 501c3?
And can you go a little bit further in your question? 501c3, as far as, now you do have to have a 501c3, or at least a 501, in order to participate in the federal surplus property donation program. So yes, that's a requirement there. Or if your business is a small business that's certified with the federal government with the 8A program, or your veteran-owned business. If you're neither of those, yes, in order to participate in the federal surplus property donation program, you do have to have your nonprofit certification and 501. It doesn't matter which C3, C4, or whatever, you do have to have that. Now, as far as to register with eMaryland Marketplace Advantage, no, as long as you have a business, you can register. Even if you're at the very beginning of your business. If you don't have your EIN number, your employee identification number, you can input your company's information, and you can put your social security number. And then when you do get your EIN, you can replace your social security number with that EIN number. So you can do that.
All right, and from her message in the chat, it looks like you answered her question. So appreciate the question, Sister Dominique. We have a question from Kieta. And her question is, Kieta, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, E-R-T. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. But Kieta's question is, if we are certified as a WMBE in Maryland, do we still have to apply for certification in Baltimore City?
you're throwing me off a little bit when you're saying WMBE in Maryland. So if you get certified with the state of Maryland, it's just you're getting your MBE certification. You know, women is under that umbrella. Now,
Right.
if you're certified with the Baltimore City's MBE program, which is WMBE as well, you have to get your certification, and that's a separate certification process with the state of Maryland. So we don't accept anybody else's MBE certification but our own.
Got it.
Yes, so Baltimore City has a separate program. Yes.
We have a question, and I think you may have already answered this, about can nonprofits register with Emma?
Yes, yes, they can. Yes, they can register with Emma. However, we no longer accept nonprofits. If that nonprofit also has their MBE certification, we no longer can accept them as a MBE option to get MBE participation on a contract. We did do that a couple of years ago, but that was legislated out a couple of years ago, that we no longer can do that. So that's the one unfortunate thing.
Got it. All right. I think we've actually, we have one more question.
Sure.
There's no name on this question, but do you have to renew your certification every 3 or 5 years?
The well, as far as the federal, and I could be, answering these questions a little bit more. Oh, Patricia Moore. Okay, hey, Patricia. Now, well, let me say that there is a process. Once you do register with the federal surplus property program, you do have to register every 3 years. So your registration is good for 3 years, and then you have to re-register and go through the same process. But that's a lot quicker, of course, because you've already been registered. So you want to make sure you keep that current. The SBR program is pretty much it's every 3 years as well. However, you want to make sure that you keep up with your tax information, because, like I said, periodically, if you're awarded a contract prior to that contract starting, there are procurement offices that will do what we call a desk audit, just to make sure that, just to look at your tax information, just to make sure that you're not overachieving like that $7 million threshold. If you are, offer me a job. You know what I mean? But other than that, we want to make sure that you do still qualify for the program, meaning that you have less than 100 employees, and also you're not making, saying if you're in construction, that you're not making over 7 million consecutively for 3 years, and that will actually you'll graduate out the program as far as the SBR. So yes, so it's every 3 years.
Awesome. Okay, I think we actually we're good on the questions for this evening. For folks who may have joined a little bit later or don't have your contact information, I know you'll probably put it in the chat, Sean, but for people who are watching on Facebook with us tonight, what's the best way to get in contact with you if folks have more questions about this program?
Yeah, feel free. And I see it. Patricia had sent another question. Once I get your email address, I'll send out everybody the federal surplus application brochure and a program overview. So you'll have all the information, and just take your time and just make sure everything is complete. But in order to, the best way to get in contact with me is either text or email. So that's Sean. I think everybody sees my name listed. Sean, Sean, last name Stinnett, Stinnett. My email address is Sean.Stinnett@Maryland, and that's Maryland spelled out, .gov. And my office number is 410-767-4749. However, I'm in the office in and out because we're still technically kind of closed, but I'm actually essential. But the best way is my cell number, which is 443-934-2407. And I'm going to put that, like I said, I'm going to put my information in the chat just in case if anybody else missed it. But we're actually slowly but surely, we're kind of, trying to step into, technology these days. We're kind of slow. So we're trying to, to get the application and to give you everything that you can go to the website and get everything, electronically and so forth. So we're slow in doing that. And we also even working on as far as say, instead of us sending out an invoice to you and saying if you acquire a donated item, that we actually are going to be, excuse me, we're going to be starting to actually handle processing those payments electronically. So we're working on that as well. But I do want to say that, like I said, I keep it very friendly, and I understand that nonprofits, you don't have a lot of money. So, like I said, when I do have to put a charge, when it comes to computers, I had to be honest with you, and this is something I had to fight with as far as with the agency, and this is all, and I tell them this is on me. So if my numbers are low, it's because I'm on me with some particular items. If you're looking for computers, which our computers are white, totally clean because of governmental guidelines that everything has to be white clean as far as on those hard drives. But if you're looking for computers, I don't charge anything for that. I'm not going to charge a processing fee, but especially if you're working with the youth. My heart is with the youth, so I'm not doing that. And especially, I do not tax anybody that if you're acquiring any food items. So definitely don't put any food, any processing fee on water and Marie's, baby food, baby formula, nothing like that. If I got something and you know that I have it, I don't put a tax on that. But if you're looking for a plane or if you're looking for a vehicle, stuff like that, then I got to put a tax on it. You know what I mean? And that's just because of the federal guidelines that I have to do it.
Understood. All right. Well, appreciate you, Brother Sean, for coming through tonight. Looks like a lot of folks are definitely interested, and
Yes,
I know a lot of folks could definitely benefit from this program. So appreciate you. Oh, it looks like I think that Lindsay actually put all your information in the chat box. So
Yep. And that's, let me just check to make sure, and that everything. Oh, they probably got it from my signature tag. So I see they got my number. Yeah.
I was like, dang, they got you. They got all.
I know.
Your
I'm
info.
like, with that, you see, I'm like, they've been in my office. I'm like, help me water my plants.
Right.
Yeah. But no, I appreciate you. I know we haven't seen each other in a while, but I appreciate you and everything what you're all doing, you and your whole organization and so forth. And I appreciate everything.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, and I'm gonna stay on too. I'm just gonna turn my mic off.
All right. Give Sean a digital hand clap for this evening. I know we can't be in person, but appreciate you again, Sean. So we have a couple more items on the agenda for this evening, but I did want to give Mr. Collins an opportunity to come on and give a report from the Legislative Committee. George, are you still on?
See these images here.
Yeah, I'm on.
Oh, okay. I just want to give you an opportunity to give a report from the Legislative Committee if you still want to do that tonight.
Just to let folks know that the Maryland General Assembly will be, I think it's next Wednesday, the opening day. I had a brief conversation with the speaker, and the conversation was simply, it's going to be different. So we have a few issues that dealing with minority businesses and certain contracts that they're locked out of. So we haven't been able to take advantage of, let's just say. And so we're dealing with the legislators, and when we have something to present, we will do that. Other than that, if anything comes up that we see, we'll be presenting it before the executive board, and if something the members need to get on, we'll reach out. One of the things, first of all, Adam, I'm sitting here watching you do this, and you're doing a great job, so I got to say that. And one of the things that I really, as I get older, I think about the folks that have done this for a while, that have paved the way for us, and I see the weakness that we have in certain agencies that was a part of us being set back. So I just want to thank you, Sean, for holding fast in your integrity. And like you said, you have these mad people in your office, you didn't cave. You said, hey, this is what the governor says, and I'm doing my job. So I will be one tomorrow to email you personal thanks and talk about what a great job you did here. And I will probably CC my 41st Legislative District members And that's what I need to do. No need to go to the president of the Senate because it'll get lost there. But I know my people, when I look at them in the face, they better say that they got that email.
Cool. Appreciate you, Mr. Collins, and thank you for that, man. But appreciate you for the update for the legislative committee, and want to make sure we can move ourselves right along here. So, Lindsay, I don't see brother Sheree Small on yet. Is he on yet?
I did see him on earlier. Give me 1 second to verify.
Okay.
Sharif, are you here? Okay.
I don't see him in the participant list. But if you're watching right now, you are now a part of the first annual meeting of the Greater Baltimore Black Chamber of Commerce. January was today, 6th of 2021. I want to remind people, if you want to invest in a local organization that is advocating for you, Black businesses and nonprofits here in the great city of Baltimore, I highly encourage that you become a member of the Greater Baltimore Black Chamber of Commerce. You can join the Greater Baltimore Black Chamber of Commerce by going to our website at greaterbaltimoreblackchamber.org. And it's just as easy, like I've said this before, it's easy. It's as easy as signing up for a streaming service, HBO Max, any other thing that you could think about signing up for online takes just as long, even shorter. And the difference is that your resources get directed and invested into an institution that is empowering our community and local businesses. So please sign up to be a member of Baltimore's Black Chamber of Commerce at greaterbaltimoreblackchamber.org. I see Brother Sharif Small is on right now. So tonight we're going to highlight one of our chamber members. This is Brother Sharif Small of SJS Financial, and he'll be speaking about his work in the Baltimore community and also just talking about some of the things that he wants folks to be involved in terms of his financial literacy programs and a plethora of wealth building programs here in Baltimore. I've known this brother for quite some time. I know I actually got to return your text, brother. I know you're supposed to get up. But it's good to see you digitally, though.
Hey, appreciate you having me on, and Happy New Year to everyone. With Sean Snett, that's one of my good brothers right there. I'm always supportive of him. He's a hard act to follow to speak behind, but he does a lot of, that's my man. He does a lot of great work in the community. He speaks at a lot of my workshops and my events, and always supportive of the things that he does with the youth and everything. So glad to see that.
If I can, real quick, I'm sorry, Sharif. Sharif is one person. He can have an event on the weirdest night of the week, and it's packed. And it just amazes me. And I'm like, I can't even do it. I said, but this brother throws it down when he hosts one of his events.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Sean. I appreciate that. It's not but the man upstairs just trying to do his work. And you can tell that people really, really need this information. So, that's why we try to, provide that work in the community, continue to keep on, doing that. So, but I appreciate y'all, highlighting, my company, the work that we do in the community. As Adam mentioned, my name is Sharif Small. I have a tax accounting and financial planning practice called the SGS Financial Firm. We do bookkeeping, payroll, tax for small businesses and nonprofits. And the goal is, of course, to make sure that your business runs efficiently and effectively, and make sure that you have those books in order so you can actually grow your business. I also have a nonprofit as well, and Sean has helped me out with that, called Financial Power Movement, where we teach kids financial literacy, we teach home ownership, and we teach entrepreneurship workshops. And our goal is really trying to end poverty and inequality, which is going on within the city of Baltimore. Where we do that is through education, information, and resources. So we teach kids, we teach on college campuses, and we teach the community as well. I also have a real estate business where we own some commercial buildings and investment property as well. And I also do some government contracting where I teach, booster business classes on a military basis. Well, with the time, I guess that I have is, with this time of the year, a lot of people are looking to get their finances in order. A lot of people are looking to get their health in order. And with a lot of small businesses, it's really about getting your books in order. And then unfortunately, a lot more businesses that are in business for themselves, where they don't keep track of the books, and they don't keep good books or don't do anything at all. So that's one of the things that I really try to preach in the beginning of the year is really, getting your books in order, whether it's QuickBooks or Wave apps, whatever software that you use. I highly recommend that you use something to get your books in order so you can track how your business is doing and you can make better decisions with your business as well. And that's one of the things that we wind up doing is diagnosing your business and see not just what's coming in. We always know what's coming in, but we don't really pay attention to what's going out. Because it's not just if you get audited by the IRS, it's when you're going to be audited, and you got to know where your money is going and everything. So we really try to get people set up with QuickBooks, get them set up with the, attach your bank account, download your transactions, put it in categories. You got to be able to one day produce those profit loss statements and those balance sheets. As Sean Snett just mentioned, you're looking to go after government contract and, getting your Mbe certification. They're going to ask for all these documents. And I think Sean can contest to that. They're going to want those profit losses and balance sheets. And one of the best ways to do that is make sure that you keep good books and have those on orders. Because that could prevent you from going after more government contracts, prevent you from going after some cash flow and be able to, hire your employees. It really comes down to. So that's the first thing we really try to talk to our clients is getting your books in order. And then on top of that, if you're paying, contractors, please 1099 them and keep track of the 1099s. Because these things are due at the end of this month. So that's one of the things that we're doing right now is getting clients' books in order, but then they're paying people and they got to be able to properly record it. So you definitely got to get those 1099s, in order, and you got to do that by the end of this month. And then eventually you may want to think about W-2ing yourself as well too. So, if you're starting to have some consistent cash flow and you really want to start showing some income for yourself, you're looking to buy a house or looking to refinance. A lot of lenders want to see that you have some W-2 income within your business coming in. Because unfortunately, I've seen a lot of businesses that they deduct too much stuff and it affects your adjusted gross income. So you definitely want to take advantage of many legal deductions that you have, but you want to be mindful if you're taking too many deductions, especially if you're looking to buy a house, you're looking to refinance. So if you're starting to bring in some good contracts or got some cash flow coming in that's real consistent, you may want to think about W-2ing to yourself so you can have taxes being taken out of your paycheck and get sent to the IRS. And you can actually show some, W-2, even if it's like $30,000 or $40,000 a year, lenders like to see that. So not only just about W-2ing yourself, but also about, W-2ing your kids. One of the best ways to take advantage of tax deductions is putting your kids on payroll. And what a lot of people don't know is that the earliest you can hire your kids on payroll is age 7, not 14, not 16, it's 7. And why do you want to hire your kids and put them on payroll is instead of paying them allowances, you pay them wages and it's actually tax deductible to your business. So with the, the change in the last couple of years, you can pay your child up to $12,000 a year, tax deductible, still claim on your tax returns. You don't have to pay any federal, no state, no local taxes, and you can still claim them on your tax returns. So when you put them on payroll, do it through QuickBooks, have them, they got to be a legitimate employee. You got to pay them minimum wages. I think right now it just changed to $11.75 an hour, I believe it is. As of right now, they got to be paid reasonable wages. They got to work a certain amount of hours, a week or a month, or during the summertime, they can work more. But it can't be working 40, 50 hours a week. They got to work a certain amount of hours that's, based off of the age and the hours that they have in school, because school is, its first priority. But these are things that are tax deductible. And then from that, the $12,000 that you pay them, you can set up a payroll deductible Roth IRA, and out of the $12,000, put $6,000 in a Roth IRA. So now not only are they learning about how to make money, but now they learn how money works for you because you're able to invest that. You learn about mutual funds. They learn about stocks. So now what you're doing is you're exposing your kids, again, to how money works, and you really set them up to build generational wealth for your kids and, your grandkids. All right, so when they get to age 18, they got money for college, they go to college. The first $10,000, you got down payment on the house. And one of the first steps to building wealth is owning your own home. So these are the tax strategies that we try to, establish, try to educate, teach, not only our clients, but the, the community as well. But to be able to do all this, again, you got to keep good books. You got to use a software. You got to use a accounting software. You got to use a payroll software. So you know, you gotta make sure you take advantage of all these things. And I highly recommend, you know, you talk to a, you know, qualified tax accounting or CPA professional that's going to guide you through the whole process. So we do a lot of business consulting. So we work with, you know, Sean, we work with, you know, the Small Business Resource Center, the Small Business Development Center, as you get your business plan, market plan for free. And, you know, you got to put together financial projections, you know, how your business is going to look like. And then you're looking to get access to capital. And then right now with COVID-19, with restaurants and, you know, a lot of businesses actually in the city of Baltimore, it's hard for them to be open and stay afloat with, you know, business being shut down, depends what industry that you're in. So you got to make sure you're able to position yourself to get some access to capital, to be able to stay afloat through these rough times. So these are type of like, you know, advice and resources that we really try to, you know, position our clients and encourage them. I'm very lucky that my 20s, a vice president, business banker at PNC Bank. So we work together, work with a lot of small businesses where I work on the accounting side, and he tried to find ways that, you know, whether it's a business credit card or business line of credit, or whatever it may be. So these are things you got to think of. And the best time to have access to capital is when you don't need it. Around this time last year, I encourage a lot of my clients to just even have it. You may not use it, but just to have it, just for something like this. Or if you do get a government contract, you got to meet payroll. You get a government contract, which is great, but it's going to take about 90 days for they actually to pay you. So you still got to pay employees every 30 days. So these are things you got to think about when you're looking to, you know, grow your own business, home-based business. You know, a lot of people working from home right now because of, you know, COVID. So there's a lot of deduction that you can take. One of the things you got to look at is the square footage of, you know, your office space. As you see here, I have an office, but then I'm also working from home today. But then you got a square footage of your house. So the difference you can deduct, you know, your utilities that you pay for, your homeowner's insurance, or if you have an apartment, you do need a room exclusively for the business, a desk, a table, chair, sign on the door. It cannot be your kid's name. So you gotta make sure you have a room exclusive for the business. And maybe your basement, and maybe your garage where you may have like an auto shop. But that square footage divided by the square footage of your house, you can deduct a portion of things that I just mentioned, maintenance, repairs, things of that nature. So these are home office expenses that you can definitely, you know, take advantage of, that can help keep your tax liability down as much as possible. But it comes to around 2 years or 3 years down the line where you want to think about getting an office space as opposed to doing home office. I have a client that has like his own custom suits, and after a while, it got to the point to where, you know, he didn't want everybody coming to his house. Like he does custom suits where every single person had to come to his house due to the custom suits. And eventually it came to a point he don't want everybody to know where he live at, so he has to get, you know, office space. This is where you can think of something of not just renting office space, but I'm very big on building wealth, and to do that, you have to own it. A lot of times what I do with my clients, I help them in a position to be able to buy their own building. And that's something I really try to plant a seed in a lot of my clients and in the community. Don't just think about renting an office space, but think about buying a building. And not only buy a building, but there's something called a mixed use property, which means you have a storefront on the first floor and then you have an apartment on the second floor. And you can use the SBA loan to be able to buy that. It's called a 504 SBA loan, where the lender, so you have a relationship with a lender, where the bank will finance 50%, the SBA will guarantee 40% of it, and then you come with 10% plus closing. But the reason why I recommend getting a storefront of mixed use property, because you can have a tenant upstairs to pay your mortgage. So you can rent out a second unit upstairs, and the second unit pay your mortgage on the first floor. And then with that, you own the building. And then with that, you can appreciate the building, the cost of buying it, utilities, but then it also appreciates in the value. So now you own something that builds equity. Actually, I'm very blessed where I own 2 commercial buildings like that on 25th Street. I have an office with my office on the first floor, and then I rent out the second floor. And you can have more than one location like that. So now you own something now you can call your own, but you can also leave these buildings to your kids and your grandkids. All right, so these are things that we really try to do with our clients. It's a mindset thing, but you gotta be able to get your books in order, get your credit in order, get your finance in order, and then you can take these steps and be able to position not only yourself, but you can position your kids and your grandkids 20, 30 years down the line when they work for you, and then, you know, they start working and they get their degree, they can want to bond you out, and then they can, you know, carry on the family legacy further, you know, family name. That's how I got into accounting and taxes. My dad had his own tax practice for 15 years. I worked for him 5 years, and then I bought him out 15 years ago. And him and my aunt owned a couple of commercial buildings, and I worked for them and got paid and everything, and I was exposed to it. So these are things that we can do to build wealth for our kids and our grandkids, and that's the mindset that you have to have. Don't just think that when you form a business, that you form a business for yourself. It's not about you. You form this business for your kids and your grandkids, so you can leave a legacy and leave an impact within your kids, but within the community at the same time. So that's the mindset I really try to encourage and plant the seed into, you know, our clients. You know, not just serve your clients, but you got to serve the community. And the best way to do that you have to have ownership of it as well. So, you know, I don't want to talk, you know, too much, but I just want to kind of plant some seeds that I thought it'd be important to think about as we get into this new year. Is we think about how do we end poverty, how we end, you know, inequality within the city of Baltimore. We have to have ownership, not just in your business, but in the building that you work in as well. So, you know, thank you for this platform, opportunity for this, you know, speak. Thank you for, you know, highlighting, spotlighting the business that, you know, we have and the work that we do in the community, and looking forward to being a part of the, you know, city chamber years to come.
Mr. Small, I know we're not in a room right now, but I want us to give you a round of applause, because you just dropped so many gems on us. It was like we had a second speaker. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If y'all can just give him a round of applause in the chat box or wherever. Sharif, seriously, you really helped us truly kick off tonight's meeting. Mr. Sean was absolutely great, and you just followed up right on point. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. You know that you're always one of my favorite people. We haven't spoken in a little while, but we definitely have to reconnect. I'm so excited to have you here on board. I think you have just volunteered yourself to actually be a speaker. So you let us know which month. You let us know which month you'd like to come back. I know once tax season starts, it's going to be crazy for you, but we need you. Look at the chat box. You are blowing up. Well, yes, Lord, this is an awesome meeting. You have been awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Sharif. Or you're about to say something else?
I'll say, you know, Sean's a tough act to follow, so I, you know, try to bring as much as I could. So, but you know, thank you for the opportunity to speak. God bless, and yeah, I will be speaking again this year. So, looking forward to it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you again. Everyone who's still here, thank you for staying with us, for being faithful. We really appreciate you. Again, you are tuned into the Greater Baltimore Black Chamber of Commerce. This is our first meeting of the year. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for tuning in. While we do have a few moments, we're actually going to use this time to allow some of our members to introduce themselves. I know that we dropped our names and our businesses in the chat box, but since we have some time, I want us to really, really, really put a stamp on this meeting and hear from some of our members, so that we can do this in an orderly fashion. If you could just drop a number in the chat box. I will start with 1 just so that you guys can follow. If you are currently a member of the Greater Baltimore Black Chamber of Commerce and would like to introduce yourself, please, please, please drop a number in the chat box. I see Dr. Fisher Hickman is here. She's going to introduce herself in a bit. Anyone else, please drop a number in the chat box for all of our members. We would love, love, love to hear from you. Don't be shy now. All right, I see a few people. So while we're waiting for others to drop their numbers in the chat, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Lindsay Peel. I have the awesome, awesome, awesome pleasure to serve as the vice president of this organization. I am also the founder and principal consultant at Kingdom Vision Consulting. We teach entrepreneurs how to use their assets to create sustainable financial strategies to acquire that capital, to also increase your personal net worth, and to really advance your overall financial intelligence. During my time as a business banker, I noticed that as an entrepreneur, a lot of times you're too busy, or you seem to be too busy to really focus on your personal finances. However, your personal finances really set the tone for what you're going to be able to accomplish within your business. That's why Kingdom Vision Consulting is here for you. Being able to wear the hat of an entrepreneur, but also as a former business banker, there are a lot of tricks that I've learned in the business banking world that a lot of times your banker can't tell you because they work for that institution. However, I'm no longer with the financial institution, so I am ready to share all of the secrets to give you even more gems and to partner with people like Sharif, like his twin brother. My position as a consultant is to really serve as a part of your financial dream team. So just like you should have your accountant and your bookkeeper, your attorney, everyone else a part of that team, you can have someone like me to connect you to additional resources, but also to prepare you from some of the hardships that I know as an entrepreneur you face sometimes in the financial world. All right, so now we're gonna hop to number 2. Is it Dante or Dante Henson?
It's actually Dante. Give me a
Dante.
second to start this video.
Hi, Dante. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Or good evening, actually. So my name is Dante Henson. I'm a native of Glen Burnie. I'm a 10-year Navy veteran, and my brother and I, literally in June of 2020, have launched Los Hermanos Tequila. We are going to be some of the first people in Baltimore to actually launch our own tequila brand. And so for a lot of years that we've been working, that, you know, I guess like a lot of people, we've decided to stop running the rat race and working for other people and build other people's dreams. And so we took something that we both had interest in and we decided to make it our own. And so right now, we just have one more certification from the Mexican Tequila Council. We get that approval and we are launching in June of 2020. And so for some of you guys that know, I'll let you know here, but we haven't officially announced it yet, that we are going to be distributed by Food Grade Vodka. If you know, familiar with Chanel Turner, you know, we've had a conversation with her and she's, you know, interested in working with us. So this is going to be a nice partnership and fingers crossed, you know, we'll be out and Cinco de Mayo. So just keep an eye out for Los Hermanos. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dante. And congratulations. This is very, very huge. So if you're out there and you do partake in spirits, make sure that you reach out to him and stay tuned. All right. So Dr. Holly Fisher Hickman, we are ready for you.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you can see me. I'm sitting in a bad light. Sorry about that. My name is Dr. Fisher Hickman, and I am coming to you from Learning Healing Institute, Incorporated. We are designed to work exclusively with justice involved male youth, ages 13 to 17, as well as young males who are about to age out of the foster care system up to the age of 21. The primary goal is to have a residential educational facility for such youth. Many of you know that most times our youth are not prepared, whether they go into a detention center or coming out of foster care. We are designed to make sure that they're not only prepared to come home, but they are prepared to be change agents. Again, this is Learning Healing Institute. Our website is www.learninghealing.org, and look forward to hearing from some of you. We are in need of 2 to 3 more board members. So if you're interested, please kindly let us know through our website. Again, it's www.learninghealing.org. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful year. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are super excited to hear from our members. All right, Miss Cooper. Miss Eliza. You may still be on mute. All right, so while we wait for her, to get on. Miss Deborah, we'll go ahead and kick it off to you.
All right, can everybody hear me and see me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I am usually talking about the Chamber of Commerce, but I am going to talk to you about Keller Professional Services for a quick moment. We are management consultants, human resource consultants, and just prior to COVID and during COVID, we have had the occasion to service small businesses in the area of human resource consulting, and as well as administrative management consulting. So in terms of the HR consulting in the area of staffing, we are committed to local hiring, with our focus on workforce and economic empowerment in our communities. We are, definitely making sure that if you are a small business and you want to, begin to employ, please consider contacting Keller so that we can help with your hiring needs. Also in our administrative management support arena, we can support the efforts of your data and bookkeeping management. And I will be partnering with people like Sharif to kind of help my business transition from paper to electronic data. So just want to, introduce you more to what Keller does. And our website is being updated, but it is kellerproservices.com. And if we can be of any services to you in that area, don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you for this opportunity to advertise Keller through the Greater Baltimore Black Chamber of Commerce.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Deborah. It's always such a pleasure to see you in your Keller Professional Services hat. All right, we are going to head down to Miss Joan White McCain. Actually, I apologize. We're going to come back to Miss Cooper. I see she's here.
Yes, I was wasn't on screen at the time when you were talking to me. So welcome and Happy New Year to everyone. My business is called Live Holistically Balanced, and I have a community portion to that. And every year I host, for the past 5 years, I've hosted a Black Love Day celebration. And part of that is the Nguzo Saba, or the 7 principles. So I wanted to ask if the Greater Chamber would be willing to do a presentation on February 13th. It's a 24-hour period, and since we're doing virtually, I'm going to take advantage of that. I would love to have a presentation to the community about what they can do in these times, a half an hour to an hour. And then the other thing that I'm going to have is a community sharing piece, and that's where I'm going to invite. I invite people to come and share why they're passionate about the community and what services and resources they have to offer to them. And I'm going to record that since we're doing it virtually, and then have that posted for the year. So that would be something that could be a good marketing piece. So that's all I wanted to share. And I'm reach me at liveholisticallybalanced@gmail.com. And my phone number is 410-404-2859. Thank you.
Thank you again, Ms. Cooper. Always a pleasure to see you. Now we're going to head to Byron Dees, and please excuse me if I pronounced that incorrectly.
You're perfect, right on time. Good evening, everyone. And it's been a great meeting this evening. Just to introduce myself, my name is Byron Dees with Glass Jacobson Financial Group. And I'm also the legislative chair for the President's Roundtable in Baltimore. And wanted to take this opportunity to invite all of you to participate in the virtual PRT Legislative Conference. It's coming up on Tuesday, January 12th at 4 o'clock, Tuesday, January 12th at 4 o'clock. It's a great opportunity to get ahead of the legislative session this year of the Maryland General Assembly and really get a chance to learn more about some of the legislative priorities and how it affects particularly the state of Black business in this state. We want to make sure that we're up to speed. So much has changed since last year, and the things that were at the top of the priority list last year, we're completely in a different world now. And so how does that affect the state of Black businesses in the state of Maryland? Are there opportunities for capital and access to capital? And there are new divisions that are being created within the legislature that could have a great impact in providing contracts, as well as just dollars that could be beneficial to your companies. And so we want to make sure that if new programs are being rolled out this year, that Black business owners and the state of Black business is able to take advantage and be a part of those opportunities and not missing out on some of these great capital resources that businesses are taking advantage of. So I actually did add the link into the chat section. But again, the President's Roundtable Legislative Conference on next Tuesday at 4 p.m. It'll be a virtual conference this year. Usually we're meeting down in Annapolis at one of the rooms. And so folks are trying to dash their way into Annapolis. But this year we want to have as many Black professionals and Black business owners as possible to be a part of this legislative effort. So we hope to see you guys next Tuesday for the legislative conference.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Dees. And if you want to put that information back in the chat so that people can save it for future reference, that will be awesome.
I will.
I do see Miss Roberta Lowe. Are you ready? Miss Lowe?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, awesome. Hi, everyone. I'm Roberta Lowe. I'm a vegan chef and health coach here in the Baltimore area, and this is my first chamber meeting. I actually help people transition over to being plant-based just by showing them how delicious plant-based food could be and how easy it can actually take or be as well by preparing it. And so I do that in a few ways. I have a restaurant that has a delivery service. It's called Veg Box. And I also do one-on-one cooking classes, as well as doing group cooking classes. And I do meal prep delivery as well. So any one of those platforms, you can definitely transition over to, I'm just here to help you transition over to making things convenient to be plant-based and to give your palate a new taste of whole plants and making sure that you're your best self with being healthy. And I'll put my information in the chat.
Great. Thank you so much. I probably need to reach out to you myself. All right, so we do have maybe about 3 more minutes for 1 or 2 more members to give an introduction. I see a few members on the call that did not put a number in the chat box. We would love to hear from you. Now is definitely the time. All right. So if we don't have any more members who would like to say something, now we would like to open the floor to a few non-members to actually make an introduction. If you are not quite a member yet, but you would like to introduce yourself, please follow suit and put your name or a number in the chat box. And if she does not mind, I am going to have to call her out to get us started with Miss Shalonda Stokes.
Can you see me in here?
Yes,
I tried to put on the camera a little bit. I know the lighting isn't well. Thank you so much for having me. I know I said I'm not a member yet, but will become one. So thank you. This was very informative. Shout out to Sharif. I think you did an amazing job with giving that information. I'm currently the president of Downtown Partnership of Baltimore. Many people on here also know I have a minority business, Grabo Media, and that's where I met you with the banking relationship. And so I thank you guys for that. One bit of information that I'd like to share that we're doing at Downtown Partnership that could be relevant if you're interested. We just created a new initiative called Boost, which stands for Black Owned and Operated Storefront Tenancy. What we're doing is working with the property owners in downtown Baltimore, as we recognize there are a number of vacancies in the storefront retail, which is an opportunity to do a couple things. It's an opportunity to support Black-owned businesses and also to fill those spaces that make downtown Baltimore more representative of the demographics of our city. And so with that, the businesses get an affordable lease that's commensurate with their sales so that we're not, creating an undue burden. It's between probably $30,000 and $50,000 in either build out or financial support, along with that sort of trifecta of support that you all reference. So we want to make sure there's marketing assistance, banking assistance, legal assistance to support and make sure that we're helping those businesses be successful. In here, we are looking to start off with 5 to 7 businesses, put them in a cohort, and anybody that's familiar with Dalali Daraza, he has an organization called Fearless. They came in as our title sponsor, and part of the thought in doing this was to form a cohort of those 5 to 7 businesses so that they're also leaning on and growing with each other. And so if anybody is interested in that initiative, and I can put the information in the chat as well, but if you would just send an email to info@dpob.org, and I'll put that in there to let us know that you're interested, then we would appreciate that as well. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
So
thank you.
I would like to just say hello to Shalonda and also
Deborah, thank you. And thank you for meeting with me and introducing me again to the organization.
Absolutely. So we would love to support the, your Boost program. So we'd like to, thanks for sharing it this evening. And if we can help to support it and do outreach to keep our businesses, opportunities downtown. I moved my business out of downtown, but I may consider coming back. But so I think that is an important option for our members to have.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Miss Deborah. We do have one more non-member who would like to introduce himself, and that looks like Mr. Joseph Lorick.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Actually, I am a member. I just didn't answer in time.
I thought you were a member.
Yes, but I'm a brand new member. First of all, thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure to meet all of you. My name is Joseph Lorick. I'm the owner of Backyard Movie Theaters, LLC, which is a business that was created in the midst of COVID to help people remain entertained and still feel socially distanced. We do everything from birthday parties to just movie nights, date nights, to drive-in setups. And in fact, we have an event coming up this Sunday because the Ravens have a playoff game. So we have a personal party, but we also have, if you don't have somewhere to watch the game, we do have a drive-in parking garage where we will be watching the game socially distanced, everyone in their cars. Sound transmits to your car and you get to see on the big screen and still feel like you're in a gathering. So the business in itself, again, is just to enhance the home viewing when it comes to streaming movies, when it comes to just being entertained. We like to always add value to anyone's experience. So we don't just rent out equipment. We also provide services. We also serve popcorn. We clean up. We make sure to not just give you a movie or something to watch, but make sure you have an experience. So again, we're just starting. I started in July. We've been going pretty great for the last 6 months. And this summer and this spring is already getting booked up pretty well. And hopefully maybe one day I can put something on for the chamber too, where maybe I do a movie night for free for all of the members, where you can come out to one of my locations and just enjoy a movie that you pick. So I look forward to.
I think we should have that kind of event. I concur. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, I definitely will. But if anyone, like I said, this Sunday, It's going to be, I have a location, a parking garage in downtown Baltimore. If you want to watch the game with some other people, but not be next to them and be in your car and still feel like you're next to people, make sure you just let me know in the comment section, leave your information or contact myself. I'll make sure to leave my number and email address. And again, good to meet you guys. Some of you already know Kendrick, everybody I know a lot of you, and it's going to be good to network and work with you. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Mr. Larg. I'm really excited myself. Please make sure you drop your information in chat for us. All right, I did not see any more names. I'm gonna give us one more opportunity. Do I have any members or non-members who would like to introduce themselves? All right, Mr. David Murphy.
Yes, how you doing?
All right.
I will not put my camera on because I'm very relaxed. I'm gonna leave it like that, okay? But in any case, I published the National Black Unity News, a nationwide circulated newspaper, and it's by us and it's for us. And we have solution-oriented information in this publication. And in this day and time where people are going through so much, I encourage each and every one of you to get a subscription, or you could actually see the publication for free online. You just go to tnbun.com. I'm also a founding member of the Black Men Unifying Black Men, and I was a founding member of this Chamber of Commerce. So way back in the day. So you know, I've been around the block once or twice, and keep doing what you're doing because you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Murphy. We really appreciate you always. I really appreciate your honesty about why you didn't turn your camera on. I know we all feel like that a few times on the Zoom meetings that we have experienced. Now we'll go back to Ms. Joan White McCain.
Good evening, everyone. I tried to put myself on video, but it's not working. But anyway, I spoke earlier. I'm not only the membership committee chair, but I also work in the financial services arena as a financial consultant. And I do work with business owners in the areas of their insurance and their investments, making sure that you take care of you. And so that's it. Thank you. I'm on now. Joe White McCain here.
Thank you so much, Ms. Joan. Okay, I'm looking. Do we have anyone else who would like to introduce themselves before I send it over to Kendrick to close us out? Okay, I see. Is it Baba Jai? And please forgive me if I mispronounced that. Baba?
Yeah, Baba Jahi.
All right.
Yeah, I'm also an editor with the National Black Unity News. I'm the national travel editor. Our company, we have a travel company, and Brother Kendrick is a former student of mine, and you know, hey, and I'm just glad I tuned in tonight and listened to all of the wonderful information. I mean, the brother that shared the tax information, I mean, he was right on point, because that's something I also do in terms of helping people with their taxes, tax and travel consultant. So I just want, you know, give y'all a shout out and tell, you know, just let Kendrick know he's doing a great job, and, you know, in terms of leadership, and really appreciate you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate you right back. All right, it is almost that time, and I know that I'm standing between you and dinner if you have not eaten already. So I am going to send us back to our president to close us out. Mr. Kendrick.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all this afternoon, this evening. It's not too much more I can say, but it's just a crazy world out there. Please be safe, and it's strength in numbers and power and unity. And as we move forward, please know that we can't do it all by ourselves. Only 2% of businesses have more than one employee. I can't stress this enough. To click the 3 dots in the chat box, save the chat, so you can reach out to each and every one of those members to find out how you can add value to their business, or how their business can add value to your business. We want to foster relationships, build relationships, so we can help build capacity. Here is about us growing to 7 figures. I would like to see more businesses that look like us at the 7-figure and 8-figure mark, because therefore they'll have employees in the 6-figure mark, and then all adds value to our country, which is in shambles right now. And so I'm extremely passionate about the growth of the chamber. It's not about me, it's not about you, it's about us. So again, on the stream right now, I left up the Greater Baltimore Black Chamber of Commerce mission, and if you're on the stream, I saw your comments. I try to give you the link so that you could join us, and I want to make sure that we end on time just like we started on time, so 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. every first Wednesday. We thank you so much for your just leadership, for your dedication, my board members' leadership. Deborah Keller Green is our board chair, Lindsay Peel is our vice president, and I just thank you all for our board members and committee chairs that all make this possible. We are not a government agency that has a budget to create millionaires. We are a volunteer organization. So all of these wonderful faces you see here are here because they choose to be, they're advocates, and they believe that we can do this together. So with that, I'm gonna get off my soapbox and I will digress. I forgot to turn on my camera, but please forgive me. It's Kendrick Tillman, president of the Greater Baltimore Black Chamber of Commerce.
All right. All right.
Good night, everyone.
All right.
Hey.
Thank you all. Great event
Good night.
tonight. And thank you for all of your hard work and coordination. It was excellent event. Good night.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We appreciate you.
Good night.
Good night.
Three.